covering the 9 islands of the heart, and it's very important in our lives to have the opportunity and the possibility to explore these incredible islands of the heart. And the islands of the heart has been the biggest topic of discussion in the circle of bhakti yogis. And it's really, really powerful, in-depth research and study and practical application and testimonies by many, many sages and saints in the tradition of bhakti. So in this island, we have so far covered Shravanam. Shravanam is hearing from the heart space, and Kirtanam, glorifying from the heart, seeing the good, positive in the world. Smaranam, remembering all the beautiful gifts and offerings that come from the heart. So we have covered Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and then we just finished Vandanam, which is prayers from the heart. And we covered different kinds of prayers. Prayers in the mode of sadness, when we're in difficulties, when we pray when we need things. We pray for intelligence. We pray for salvation. We pray for liberation. We pray for cessation of suffering and pain. And today we'll start the discussion on Padasevanam. These are 2 words to describe this island. Pada means feet. You'll hear this word commonly used in the yoga world. Pada is 2 feet. And Sevanam is to serve. So 2 definitions. It means serving with the feet and serving the feet. I know people are wondering, what is this island? We're talking about serving the feet and with the feet. It's kind of not so cool. So we're going to dive a little bit to understand why this is such an important island that the sages have been propounding and exploring and indulging in this particular act of Padasevanam. So serving with the feet, it is explained in the yoga traditions that our very existence is about Seva. And yesterday in our French call, Kamala Devi arranged that we talk about Seva, service, and what it means. And we dove a little deep into it. So serving with the feet means where the feet are engaged in service. So how is the feet engaged in service? Some of you went on a pilgrimage, a spiritual yoga pilgrimage of the heart to this beautiful land of Vrindavan, where we were able to experience the energy and the love, the land of Krishna, who is the embodiment of transcendental, eternal, pure, unconditional love. We were able to explore this beautiful, energetic, spiritual space, which is the space of transcendental love. The way we were able to go to this place is by engaging our body, particularly in this case, our feet. We were able to walk and do pilgrimage around these beautiful places in Vrindavan. So this is what it means when it says Padasevanam, to make sure that our feet is properly engaged in the service of the heart, in the service of the divine. Some people will use their feet to go to clubbing, hiking, so many ways our feet is is the vehicle, is the tool that moves us from one place to another. When the actions of the feet is guided by the purity of the intent in the heart, which is connected to the divine, is what we called Padasevanam. So wherever we go, when our feet wants to go clubbing or here, there, wherever it wants to go, the question we ask ourselves is the action that this feet is about to embark on, is it connected to the pure connection that you have with your heart? And then you can pause and make the right choices, because we are always given beautiful opportunities to choose what is the best way to proceed and conduct our lives so that we can have the highest quality of spiritual experience. So this is serving with the feet. And then, serving the feet is the next topic. People think, often when you are asked to massage someone's feet, it's considered to be not a very clean activity. Oh, it's dirty, it's filthy. But in this sense, what it's talking about is the importance of engaged in menial services. Padasevanam means it is the process of a loving exchange that is taking place between the individual soul and the supreme soul and the super soul. It is the connection or the mode of communication between the individual self and the supreme self. Individual and the divine. And how do we make that connection? It is through the process of Padasevanam. Padasevanam means menial service. Now, when there's two lovers, the lovers do not hesitate to do anything and everything to make sure that the other party is properly nourished and taken care of. And we do not hesitate if you look at the picture, because every one of the islands of Bhakti has a representative. And in this case, in this island of Bhakti, the island of the heart, the representation is Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi is the goddess of fortune. And she is sitting at the feet of the love of her heart, who is Vishnu, laying in this beautiful serpent. And she is massaging his feet as he is dozing off into a beautiful yoga nidra. So this is the image of Padasevanam. She represents Padasevanam. What is the goddess of fortune who has everything, and everyone in this world is worshiping her, is begging for her, is pleading for her presence in their lives? We all seek some sort of opulence from her. She is massaging the love of her heart. This is what Padasevanam means. That you may be the most powerful, the most everything. But when it comes to love, when it comes to transcendental love, we are ready to do anything and everything, to be involved in that beautiful loving exchange that takes place between the individual heart and the divine heart, between us and God, between us and the divine. So this is what serving the feet means, to do the menial service. You can test in your relationships, you know, when you ask somebody, your partner or someone, to massage your feet, and you look at the expression on their face. It's like, oh my God, nasty feet, dirty feet. I don't want to touch that. Why don't you go scrub your feet first? And then maybe I'll give you a foot massage. So we have so much hesitation because it is a conflict between our ego, our false identity, and discovering our true spiritual identity. When we are completely, fully, spiritually identified with our spiritual nature, then there is absolutely no hesitation. It is when we are identified with our material selves, then we have hesitation to engage in service. I know, for example, in Atlanta, we do feed the unhoused people every single day. And many people come to volunteer every single day. And some people are very, very hesitant to get close to the unhoused people because they looked not properly taken care of themselves. And sometimes they have an odor that is a little different than what they're used to. Sometimes they're sleeping in tents and living in an environment that is a little difficult. So we are holding these barriers and not getting close to them because our egos, our false identities, does not compute with that. So Padasevanam is when we are able to see the divine within that person and connect with the divine with that person, within that person, through Seva, through service. This is called Padasevanam. In Vrindavan, we were doing a little parikrama. Parikrama means to circumambulate a certain geographical space. And the reason we circumambulate clockwise is so that we become energetically infused by the energy of that particular place. So this happens in all spiritual traditions. So in this year in Vrindavan, I was doing a little parikrama with Radha Priti. Here you can see her name is Rachel. She does an incredible service of managing one of the devotees, Raghunath Prabhu. He has a beautiful podcast called The Wisdom of the Sages, where they read from the ancient yoga text called the Srimad Bhagavatam every single morning. And so she manages that. And the interesting part is I had this parikrama with her, and there, as we're circumambulating, she showed me a house of a family that lives on the path of this pilgrimage. And these people have nothing. They have bamboo sticks on the ground, and they put some tarps up top, and that is where they live. They have a cow, and they have 3 kids, and it gets really cold, so they just burn the debris, and that's their firewood to keep themselves heated. It was a very, very interesting group of people. It's a family that lived there, and I got to have some beautiful exchange with them and engage in some seva and engage in some service. And I was quite shocked to see the father doing such menial service to take care of his 3 little kids and taking care of the cow and the camel and the bull that they had as their family wealth. And it was such a beautiful experience. So this was something that I learned, the importance of menial service and serving with and serving the feet and with the feet. So this is called Padasevanam. Now, okay, we're okay with time. Any questions on this before we move forward a little bit more on Padasevanam? Anything doesn't make sense? Kamala Devi, you look a little like puzzled. Okay. So this Padasevanam is menial service, right? Now, people may ask, how do you do menial service? And if you look at ourselves, we can gauge ourselves in relation to what is our relationship in doing menial service. Service that is simple, that doesn't have any recognition. Most of us in this world, we want to do something to be recognized. When people come to Food for Lives who are coming for the first time, you'll be surprised. They're spending more time on their phones, some people, taking pictures of them doing service with the unhoused people. So much selfies and so many pictures are taking place because they want the world to know that they're actually doing service. So service is used as a means to boost your ego, your false ego. This is not Padasevanam. Padasevanam means to lose yourself in service and find the divine within this service. This is Padasevanam. And that is why whenever we get an opportunity to serve, we have to see how to serve even when no one is watching us. Even when there is no recognition that anyone is giving us for the things that we do for others. In America, there's a culture, you immediately say, thank you, thank you. There's always an acknowledgement of when something is done, and there's a recognition for things that you have done. This is the culture that I'm learning more and more about. But you look at someone like Connie, I like to pick on her a little bit because she is such a firecracker, She's so quiet. She doesn't say anything. And while behind the scenes, she's setting up tables to get more and more people engaged in Seva. But when it comes to the actual, meetings and everything, you will not hear Connie say much. She just wants to do things behind the scene without any recognition. So I just blew the whistle for Connie so she can't hide behind the scenes anymore. But this is the beauty of Padasevanam. This is the beauty of service. When we continuously do service where we are not seeking any kind of validation or recognition. Because that validation and recognition, when we don't seek it, that is when we get the real recognition from the divine. That is when we make real spiritual advancement. When we are not seeking recognition, when we simply want to serve for the sake of serving others. And when in the engagement of service, when you lose yourself, then you will find the divine in everything and in everyone. And this is what Padasevanam means.